won't forget it. 'Cause I'm a super girl here to save the world. I got the power in the palm of my hand. I'ma change the world 'cause I'm a super girl. Super girl. I got the power, baby. It's not a bird or plane, so don't look up in the sky, 'cause I'll be in your face before you even blink an eye. 'Cause I can travel at the speed of sound. You can hear the music pumping through your speakers, baby.
Welcome to Limelight Conversations. I'm your host, Troy D. Williams, and we have a very, very special guest in the studio with us today. You guys have seen her all over the news, radio podcasts, interviews. She's wrestled all over the world in different countries, professional wrestler, model, influencer, and mechanic. Took us a while to get to her. She's finally here in the studio. Amber Nova,
Thank you for that introduction. That was really nice.
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. Took a while to get you here. I know you're a
Schedules-
busy lady.
The schedule's been crazy and it's been a pandemic, so
So how's everything going with the pandemic? How's life going on?
healthy, family's healthy. Luckily, everything's been good, and that's what's most important. So.
Awesome. Well, we definitely want to talk about your professional career as a wrestler. But let's go back to the beginning though. So tell us a little bit about your early life. Where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Hackettstown, New Jersey. My parents are from New Jersey. Luckily, I don't have that Jersey accent. My aunt does. I had to teach her how to pump her own gas when she moved down. But so born in Hackettstown, New Jersey, raised in Beaufort County, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, most of my whole life. And now for the past 5 years, I've been here in Orlando, Florida, pursuing my wrestling career.
Okay, so you moved down to Florida to pursue wrestling specifically.
Yes, I moved to Orlando with a Nova and a dream by myself to be a pro wrestler. I left my career job back home, and here I am sitting with you.
It's a sweet car, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's my baby.
orange just like your shirt.
I always rep orange. Chevy Motors' original color is orange, like a hot red orange. And if anyone knows cars like I do, that's why I always have orange on my wrestling gear. I got tire marks, I got wrenches, and ready to tune you up. And outside of the ring, the car's hot orange, so I like to rep orange.
I got you. Okay. Okay, and then you're a daughter of a mechanic.
My dad is a mechanic.
He is a mechanic.
Yeah.
And you're a mechanic as well.
I'd like to say so. If I change my own oil, I can do my own brakes. I have people that ask me for help with their cars, even the easiest thing like putting coolant, antifreeze in. So yes, I'm a mechanic like my father, and he's currently restoring a 69 SS Chevelle. But he's up in South Carolina, so.
Okay. Now you started off as an EMT. That was your career prior to wrestling, right? And that's what you went to school for and everything?
Yes, I went to college for that. I worked with paramedics and firemen. It was my career. It was my career. I was going to end all be all. I used to work 24, 36-hour shifts straight. No sleep, transporting patients. 21, 22 when I became an EMT. And I went to school and I think I was about 19 for it. After the tests, and yeah. So, former EMT. I actually keep in touch with all the firemen back home. My brother-in-law is an EMT and a fireman as well, married to my sister. And through this pandemic, what they've gone through, I'm just I can't even imagine the calls they run, the hospitals, the chaos. And me being a former EMT, I feel what they feel in that hospital. I can only imagine. So, yes, that is the career I left behind 5 years ago to pursue professional wrestling.
And shout out to all the first responders out there. They're doing
Yes.
tremendous job. It's crazy right now, but we appreciate them. So what motivated you to get into wrestling?
Same thing that got me into classic cars. My dad, he'd always have WCW on, Monday Night Raw. He'd take us to events, me and my younger siblings. And so my dad got me into classic cars and he got me into wrestling. So it's not just a gimmick, it's my real life character as a person.
Okay. So those are what women, when you first seen it, what women really inspired you?
Luna Vachon is actually the one that I got my wrestling gear inspired from. High-waist bikini, and she had these amazing cutout leggings, and it was correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 98 or 99 Slamboree versus Medusa. And Luna Vachon's wearing this white high-waist bikini, cutout leggings, real sexy. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And I wanted to be different when I came to wrestling, so I did that high-waist bikini, cutout leggings, spray-painted tire marks and wrenches down the leggings. And so she's one of them. Trish Stratus, Stephanie McMahon, Victoria, Lita, all these amazing women I was watching growing up. You know, AJ Lee, but China, like I watched a lot of old school. My dad, he'd always have it on, even the playbacks, you know, just anything reruns. So those are the women. But I watched a lot of guys too.
So who are some of your favorite guy wrestlers?
A lot of WCW. Booker T, Goldberg, Sting. Let me see. Obviously, you have Triple H, Shawn Michaels. All those guys were great.
That's my favorite. HBK.
HBK, he's the man. He's the
HBK.
man. I've got to work for his company a few times, and I'm working on a full-time contract with them. So
Wow.
we'll see. And then let's see who else. Anything and everything Eddie Guerrero, for sure.
Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to love you. He's entertaining, man.
I actually got to learn from Hector just a couple months ago. He came down and did a seminar. Even with the pandemic going on, you know, he had a face shield and everything. It's like, this is crazy, but I've done a few seminars with Hector, and just so wise and so happy and so passionate about wrestling. To get to learn from one of the Guerreros it's amazing.
That is so cool. And the funny thing, I actually met Booker T last year in Vegas.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was at a boxing match, Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman, and he was just there, big guy.
Yes, he is.
I felt small, and I normally don't feel small next to people, but...
He actually runs a wrestling school out in Texas, and I've wrestled a few of his students that have come from there.
Really? Did you whoop up on him?
Yes. I tuned them up, let's just say that. They stepped in the ring with Amber Nova, and they got their tune up.
Okay, so you turned pro. In 2016. Okay. Give me like a brief timeline breakdown of like the different promotions that you wrestled in. So
I moved here in 2015, started training. I moved by myself. It was really hard, so I had to take a few months off, really get on my feet. And 2016, I had my first match, and I mean, some of my very early on matches, like my first 10 matches, were with Mia Yim, who you'll see on USA Network on NXT now. Zelina Vega, she's on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. She's on the main network. And my match with Zelina Vega, she was Thea Trinidad is her real name. Larry Zbyszko commentated that match, and that's on YouTube. And it's just, I look back at these matches and I'm like, man, whew, did I know what I was doing in the ring with them? Like, I gave it my all. And I've wrestled so many great women I've gotten to learn from. Rosemary from Impact Wrestling, others, and let's see. In that time in the last 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, I've wrestled for WWE's NXT brand twice, and that's on the WWE Network, and you can look at my matches there and search my name, which is really like a dream, like, all right, I'm doing something right. Impact Wrestling, I've wrestled, last year alone, I wrestled in 3 different countries, London, South Africa,
Really?
and Panama.
Wow.
And from June to December of last year, in 6 months, I went to 3 different countries. I was in contact with WWE. They were like, international travel is good, keep doing it, we're going to stay in touch. And then unfortunately 2020 was like, hey, it's my year, and pandemic was like, no, it's not. So, you know, a little bit of a slowdown, a couple speed bumps in my journey, but I'm still going.
Good stuff. And I was going to actually ask you about the NXT. That's actually pretty cool. You know, congratulations on that. That's huge. I know they're here in Orlando, right? They do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they film out of the Performance Center. Currently, they were filming at the Performance Center due to the pandemic, but normally they would film from Full Sail University here in Orlando. And now Raw SmackDown is doing the Thunderdome at the Amway Center, which we
So
can
cool.
actually see right here
So cool.
from our view.
So cool. Yeah, so I know one of your matches, though, you actually got to wrestle against Nikki Cross. And,
Yes.
And shortly after that, she went on to WWE. Like, she went up from NXT. And then she was tag team champions with Alexa Bliss, right?
Yes.
So you're right there.
She was a crazy bat. But I think I was like
crazy.
just the girl to be in the ring with her. It felt right. Chemistry felt right. It was great. I really loved the match. It was my first match with WWE. It was like a last minute call too, so
Wow.
it was just exciting. And then when I got brought back again, about 6 or so months later, I got to step in the ring with 2 of the top women from Japan. Io Shirai, who's current WWE NXT Women's Champion, and Kairi Sane, who actually just left the company to go back to Japan. So hopefully we'll see her again. But yeah, I got to step in the ring with them. And Rebel, Tanea Brooks, you see her on AEW with Britt Baker. She was my tag partner.
That's so cool.
So being so new in the business and having these opportunities and feels great.
And so talk about the process of like how difficult is it like putting a match together, like preparation, rehearsing for a match. You know, like I know you guys like you have to there's practice that goes into it. Like just like us as actors, you know, you guys have to prepare. You know, you're putting on a show, performing. So like what kind of work goes into like putting a match together?
So much. So much, I will say just preparing training wise. Once you know what you're doing and you're with a good opponent, the flow, it just flows. It feels natural. It's like you don't even know, it just, you're doing it and don't even realize what you're doing, but you know you're doing it because you've done it so much. Like the flow will be great with the right opponent and with your experience, your level experience. But like anything in life, you have to train, you have to learn, you have to do it. Repetition. You have to just train your body and your mind like Karate Kid, just over and over again to where it just natural, it just comes. Wax on, wax off. But and then a lot of people don't realize that wrestling is so much psychology. It is so much psychology. You're telling a story. You want these people to invest in you. You know, these are two athletes that are trying to say, I'm the better one, because you know what? At the end of the day, if there's only one job and the both of you in the ring and jobs have to be, there's only one spot, like you want to be that better opponent, you want to be that better wrestler, you want to show that you earned that spot. Because you're still fighting for your job every day. There's always new talent coming in, there's always new people. So it's just psychology, just making sense of what you're even doing in the ring. What am I doing? I'm trying to win. So.
And it's funny that you say that. That's actually pretty deep. I like that. But you know, I've always thought, because I was a big wrestling fan, like in my early days, especially when it was WWF versus WCW, and you had Monday Night Raw and then Nitro. It's like I'd be flipping the channel back and forth. It's like, all right, who's gonna steal my attention this time? You know, but I've always thought that the best wrestlers were always like the best actors, the ones who always told the better stories. You know,
Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Shawn
total
Michaels,
badass.
The
Yep,
Rock.
Shawn Michaels. Yep, The Rock.
They have this way of like they have a connection with the crowd. You know, without even they make it look
Flawless.
They make it look just
Flawless.
effortlessly.
Yep.
And now after seeing some of your matches, I feel like you have that same like it factor. Some people have it, some people don't. You know, some people have to develop it. I'll say that, but some people naturally seem like they have it, or at least that's what it looks like from my end. So, and what I mean by that is like I feel like you could be a good guy or you could be the heel, but the crowd is still going to love you. Not everyone can do that.
Depends who I'm stepping in the ring with. Depends how, what I gotta do. If I gotta pull a few tools out of my box, I've choked people out with wrenches before, I'll do what I gotta do to make that win. It depends who I'm wrestling, if they're gonna be like a little, not so great, we're either gonna like be nice, competitive, clean wrestling, or if you're gonna be like a little cheat, then I got a big wrench, I'll cheat too. But thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so talk about your finishers. What are your finishers and your signature moves?
Yes. So when I first joined my dojo here in Orlando, started wrestling, I'd have my hair braided like when I was an EMT, and it was just braided in a ponytail. And they nicknamed me Tomb Raider at the dojo. They called me Tomb Raider, like that was my name. So I did this, I did it to Nikki Cross in my first NXT match. It's a head scissors buckle smash. So I propped myself up, hooked their head with like a head scissor, and bashed their head into the buckle. And that is what I call the tune-up. But I started calling it the Tomb Raider because it was pretty cool. But yeah, I call it the tune-up. Obviously, my mechanic, American Muscle background. I do a Nova Lights suplex, known as a Northern Lights suplex.
Okay.
I do a Nova Driver. It's a satellite DDT. I do a wheelbarrow stunner, a springboard stunner, and those are my main moves I do. I love lucha, and I am a small female. I want to say that my body is comparison to like Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
We're petite women. We're not the bigger size like you might see like Bianca Belair. I love her. Man, she could just all day just pick me up, press me. I want to match with her.
She's strong.
I want to match with her because I think we could do some fun stuff.
It's called the EST, right?
EST.
What does that stand for?
The best. The strongest, the fastest, the best. But me being little and her being big, I feel like we could do some really fun, dynamic stuff and have like good chemistry. And I'll try to win, but you know, she's the-ist of everything. So
I would like to see that match though. I've actually seen her live wrestling at NXT. She did the thing with the ponytail. She just swings. But you guys both have a lot of swag. I think that'd be a swagged out match.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's a few things, but
what's the submission one? You submitted someone with some move. What's the submission move called?
I do a few submission moves. A cattle mutilation. I call that Nova Lock. I do the same submission as Carmella. You might have seen that leg lock.
I seen one when you had them wrapped up around the neck.
I do a guillotine choke.
You had your legs wrapped around the neck.
My legs. Okay, like the head scissor.
That, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Someone tapped out recently though with that, right?
Yeah, I've wrestled a few girls recently this year, and that works. So. That works. So there you go. I like to do high flying as well. I'm really like I said, back to the fact that like my body's more smaller and petite compared to most of the bigger women, so I like to do a lot of high flying and try to be real fast with things. So like hurricanranas, you might see top rope crossbodies, things like that.
Okay. Because I know a lot of people like to say wrestling is fake because, you know, it's somewhat scripted, but I'm like, you can't fake some of these things where you're like hitting the ring and like I've seen some of you guys training at the Team Vision Dojo. I see the trainings. I'm like, most people probably puke, you know, after like a couple of rounds. So how taxing is that on the body?
It's very taxing. I've trained at a few other places, WXW. I've trained with a lot of great people. But yeah, when I first moved here, from being an EMT where I was transporting patients that were paralyzed or, you know, young people from just accidents, maybe stroke, older people, it was scary that here I am now putting my body on the line and my fireman buddies back home would be like, you know what, we'll be transporting you in a few months. And I'm like, stop, no. They would joke with me, but the worst pain I did think is just my neck, the neck pain. I couldn't turn my head side to side sometimes. Luckily, I haven't had any major injuries. I've lost a toenail, bruised and fractured a toe. That grew back, so we're good.
I just feel that. Certain things you say, you just feel, oh man.
You callous your body, and you learn how to take your hits and fall properly to protect yourself. And eventually, over time, it's not that bad. Let's just say that. It's not that bad. It hurts, though. If you watched recently, just the other night before Monday Night Raw, Lacey Evans knocked out Natalia's tooth. That happens sometimes.
She knocked out her tooth for real?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we be fine.
I mean, I've had busted noses. Nothing broken, luckily, but bloody noses. Yeah, it happens. I've had black eyes.
Wow. And you be wrestling men and everything, and you be beating them up.
Cruiserweights, yeah. So I'll wrestle the guys that are cruiserweights. This is actually the Cruiserweight Florida Championship. That I'm a 2-time Cruiserweight champion.
2-time.
2-time.
I love how Booker T would say 5 times. 5 times. That's what's up, man. So what is this one here?
That is the Orlando Pro Women's Championship.
Okay.
I have brought that on Fox 35 News. I've done local events all over Orlando. We used to do the WJRR's Earth Day Birthday, where they had all the great bands that would come to Orlando every year. I was really looking forward to doing that this year, and we'd set the wrestling ring up. I've done it the last 3 years in a row. Set the wrestling ring up. The bands are playing. Everyone's wrestling. It's a great time.
How many titles have you won over the course of your career? I know it's a lot. You lost count?
I'm going to just throw a number 5 out there, I think. 2 titles I've been 2-time champion of, so I think around 5 titles, which I think is a decent amount that I've held. I don't think it's about how many titles or how many wins. I think it's really about the story you tell, the inspiration you give people. I feel like that's what really matters.
Now, with this pandemic, I know it's affected a lot of industries. Now, I'm sure professional wrestling is one of them. You know, I watch the WWE and I see they're kind of the crowd is kind of on computers, tuning in how it was in the NBA. So, I mean, how has the pandemic, I guess, impacted your wrestling career?
It's definitely impacted my career. I was on a roll. I was working towards hopefully a WWE tryout, a real official one. I was traveling all over the world. I was going to go back to Panama and South Africa this summer that got canceled. I had a lot of things coming up, so I'm going to say it's slowed down my career. I can always find a positive thing in any type of negative situation. There's always something positive. You just have to look for it. 'Cause it's easy when the negative is just right in front of you. But yeah, I had some speed bumps along my way, and it definitely impacted my career. Times been hard, but if it wasn't for my fans, my Nova heads, I wouldn't have made it through. So honestly, that's been keeping me going.
All right, so on the topic of just being a female wrestler, right? Like, talk about some of the, I guess some of the cons, some of the politics that you dealt with, some of the challenges you faced being a woman in this industry.
Yeah. So being a woman in wrestling, it's changed so much. Women's evolution since, I mean, you remember growing up watching wrestling, it was bra and panties matches and pillow fights, and let's all say, we all loved watching it, right? Like, I was like, gosh, she's beautiful. Can I be like her when I grow up? And yeah, it's so much different. Women are actually main eventing. They're showing the athletic ability and showcasing our abilities as wrestlers, performers, that women can be strong too, not just men. And we've been given that time, actual ring time, main event time. It's amazing. I mean, honestly, it's very beneficial that I'm coming up in this time, but I want to say it's even harder because there's more women than there used to be.
Right.
A lot more women are getting involved. You got a lot more competition, but I'm always down to compete. Being a woman, there's a lot of things people don't talk about in women, like with the wrestling that they've had to go through. I've heard stories from, sadly, when I was at WrestleCon in New York last year, I was with Ashley Mazzaro, a few other girls, and I was telling Ashley, gosh, I looked up to you in high school. I used to always watch you, and now I'm sitting here and I feel like my dreams are really coming true. I've really been making it. I've been wrestling for the companies I wanted to work for, and I used to think, those things could never happen for someone like me, because you just shut yourself down thinking it's too far out of reach. And until you really do the research, put the effort in, I dedicated my whole life to this. I don't even have a cat, and I love cats. Okay, I dedicated my whole life to this. I don't even have a cat. I just tried work to make it, But sadly enough, that was only a short time. A few weeks later, she actually committed suicide, unfortunately. And I even spoke to her on Instagram, and we chatted. Just told her about workouts, and she was asking me different workouts, and told her some things. Told her how beautiful she was looking. I had no idea she was suffering through depression. And but anyway, before she did, unfortunately, pass away last year. She told me how hard it was for them in the business. They didn't get proper training and ring time all the time. They were just thrown out there. And Medeja, who used to come out with Scott Steiner from WCW, what a freaking babe. Yeah. I've been booked on 2 events with her, and we got to share a hotel room and really talk and bond. And she'd tell me taking a power bomb, and they didn't have enough training for the things they were thrown out on TV to do. And you know how TV can be. TV's hey, things change, commercials, you're running out of time, segments went over, things are hectic. And you're just thrown out there. Nowadays, there's so many schools. Booker T has a school out in Texas. There's so many training schools here in Orlando. So those women didn't get that proper training, and they suffered. They got concussions.
Hurt. Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I've seen the evolution, of the woman, the female athlete, in the sport, and I love it because back in the '90s when I used to watch wrestling all the time, they were typically, like you said, the bra and panty matches.
They were candy. They were eye candy.
They were just managers. They were just managers escorting someone to the ring. But now it's you see these women who are beautiful, and they're also athletic, and they're about their business, and it's they have entertaining matches.
You've seen my matches. You see,
I've seen your matches.
People look at me all the time and they're like, you wrestle? And I'm like, let me tell you, if you came and saw me in the ring, I'd surprise you. My little body flying around, doing all kind of stuff, taking slams, giving slams. And then I get the same thing when I get out of my car, though. Is that your car? I'm driving it. Come on. I get that a lot.
You're completely different though in the ring though. When you wrestle, you're tuned in.
Oh, I'm in my zone.
Yeah, you're zone. Yeah.
I'm geared up, I'm revved up, and I'm ready to give a tune-up.
Oh, okay. Now, how did you? I know you spoke about it earlier about the persona, kid. I think it works with you very well though because I think it's very unique. I don't think I've ever seen like a female wrestler who does the mechanic thing as well. And so, like, how did you come up with that persona? Like, how did you put it all together?
So when I was developing, like, who do I want to be as a wrestler, my character, my identity in the ring, and whom I am as a person, I was like, well, I'm a former EMT. And I thought about that. I was like, what can I really do with that? But then I've always been into American muscle cars. I've always wanted to be, and I have a lot of ambitions outside of wrestling. I'm working on advanced auto parts. Oh yeah, they need me in a commercial. Hot chick, race car bikini, pulls up in my Nova. I change my own oil. I get it all. Like I get it. I can do it myself. Like, so yeah, like advanced auto parts, that kind of stuff. I have a lot of other ambitions, but yes, mechanic. I was like, what should I be perceived as? Who do I feel I am? So I moved to Orlando with a Nova and a dream. I changed my own oil. I'm a little greaser girl, a little mechanic myself. People back home used to call me Nova Girl. They'd see me at the gas station. Oh, you're Nova Girl. I've seen you around town. You drive the Nova. So I was Nova Girl. And then eventually I was like, I'm Amber Nova. That's who I am. Everyone calls me Amber or Nova. So that's what I'll be. And
cool.
Yeah, and then just the character and the identity is really me. It was just easy to feel like, all right, who am I? This is what I do. I recycle my oil after I change it, advanced auto parts. I do drive an American muscle car. I'm a certified bartender. I used to bartend in Disney Springs when I first moved here just to sling drinks and make some money and then go to school and wrestle and yeah. So Jill of many trades.
Gotcha. I like that. I've never heard that before, but I like that.
Thanks.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Where do you see yourself going, within the next, 1 to 3 years? And I know you were on the fast track before that. Pandemic kind of slowed things down, but where do you see your career going in the next 1 to 3 years?
In the next 1 to 3 years, I see myself signed to a full-time TV contract. There's a lot more companies that have been evolving and that are around, so there's more competition, there's more opportunities. But even with the pandemic, I definitely see myself still traveling internationally. Panama, South Africa, they want me back. I've yet to wrestle in Japan, that's on the bucket list. Maybe Mexico, Canada, so more international travel, but in the next 1 to 3 years, full-time TV contract, and hopefully people will be tuning in for a tune-up.
Now, with those different countries, like those are like pretty big markets for wrestling, like those different countries that you've gone to?
Yes, surprisingly,
I would not guess that.
Yes, very big in London because British wrestling, it's very big. South Africa as well, there's 2 promotions there. I wrestled in Johannesburg and Cape Town. It was incredible. Yeah, it actually was. Thinking back, I wrestled in the exact casinos that WWE did their events in those exact stadiums.
Wow.
So I felt good.
So they gave you a VIP treatment when they flew you in?
Oh, they took care of me.
Wow.
Amazing. These just excellent people. It was actually my birthday. So when I went to South Africa, it was my birthday, November 2nd. And I went on Halloween week, which they don't celebrate Halloween in South Africa. And I was gonna paint myself as a tiger and be all cute. But it was great though. It was my birthday and I was there for 2 shows that week. And the hospitality they showed me, they got me a cake with the American flag and like a little USA. Wow. And they were amazing. I wanted to learn from them. They wanted to learn from me. I was like, I want to learn from you. So yeah.
Did you get a chance to hit the beach out there?
Yes. I went to the beach in Cape Town, and they had these giant tentacle things on the beach. And I was like, what are those? I thought they were octopus legs. They were seaweed. Thick. I'm talking thick seaweed on the beach. I thought it was octopus legs. I was like, what is that? That's crazy. Yes, I did get to see the beach. It was amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to go back.
It's awesome. It's always a place I wanted to go visit. We'll see though one day.
I was even on the news there. We went on the local news, promoted the shows. Wes Briscoe and Michael Tarver, who you might have seen back in NXT, used to be there.
Yeah.
We did that. We went on the news, promoted the show, and it was amazing. It was just a great time.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I did want to ask you about, fitness-wise, right? Physicality, because you have the best abs that I have ever seen. I would love to trade with you. You have like a 10-pack. Gym rat. I'm like into the gym. Like, what do you have? Like negative 2% body fat?
I don't know. Actually, I think I got it checked out once, and it was like 7 or 8%.
I don't believe it.
Maybe.
I don't
That?
believe it.
I might have been wrong. Maybe it was wrong.
Got to be less than 5.
Yeah,
You have a
I'm
10 pack.
extremely healthy.
10 pack.
Yeah, my abs are my main body part because I'll tell you what, it all starts with the core.
Right.
And I learned this in a few other fitness people that if you do abs at the beginning of your workout, before you do back or arms or legs or whatever you're doing, do abs first because it gives you better posture. Once you do the abs and the core, it's all in the posture. Because then, honestly, the only reason I can do pull-ups, I can do at least 8 to 10 pull-ups, no assistance, and it's because of the core. If it wasn't for the core, I couldn't pull myself up like that. I mean, I'm not like that big, but so when I was in EMT, I worked with a fireman. We went to high school together. I was like, man, you are ripped. You got like 12 packs, 18. I was like, how do you do it? Because I have an ab wheel, and I do the ab wheel. I was like, it's whatever. He's like, I'll show you. He goes, leg raises. And he sat on the edge of the bench with me when we were on duty. We had some time to kill. He goes, you sit on the edge of the bench, you do leg raises. You can sit on the edge of your bed, you can sit on the floor, not as comfortable, sit on the edge of the couch, whatever, and you just do leg raises. Both legs, bring you to your chest, one leg at a time, and then also, if you have a pull-up bar machine or something like that, like or at LA Fitness gym, prop yourself up, and then you raise your legs. And it just rips you. And I don't know, I used to go home from work as an EMT, and I would do 200 crunches, do the leg raises, then I would do 300, then I would knock out 400 in a setting. I would do like, okay, here's a set of 25. Now I can do a set of 50 straight without stopping. I do a set of 50 straight, don't stop. Breathe for a minute or two, drink some water, do another set of 50, don't stop. And then when I hit that number of 300, 400, I'd be like, all right, I'm done. And then I'd let my abs rest for a couple days if they were too sore. If not, I would do 300-400 crunches a day, 3, 4, 5 days a week until I was like, I'm cut, I'm good, I can drink beer, no big deal. I tell people, I'm like, how do you have abs? I'm like, well, I drink a lot of beer and I eat a lot of pasta. I have crazy metabolism genes. I'm an Italian Irish woman. I like my carbs, I like my bread and my pasta. I like drinking beer. I don't care if I have to work out afterwards. No, my mom, she was always small, 115 pounds, 5 kids.
Wow.
Had twins at the end, so 4 pregnancies. And my mom's still small. She's like 115, 120.
So you got good genetics.
Yeah, we're small people. So
But you put in a lot of work, though. That's a lot of crunches.
And it's hard when you're small because it's like a heavy person losing weight. It's hard for a smaller person to put on that muscle. It's about the same, but that's my fitness stuff. Oh, I do hot yoga. I'm big on hot yoga. You sweat. Oh, it feels so good. You sweat those toxins, natural endorphins out of your body. And I'll tell you what, hot yoga helps my breathing in the ring. When I'm getting my ass kicked or I'm kicking ass, my breathing it feels great because I do hot yoga. I train, I meditate, I practice. So that's my fitness stuff.
That's what's up. Put in work. I'm going to have to try that hot yoga.
It's great. It is. Orlando Power Yoga just opened back up through the pandemic. They're only doing 50% capacity still, so 30 people max. You can go online, book your class. It's awesome. Tyler and Mary are my favorite teachers. So, yes, you've got to check them out. It's great. I mean, once you don't have, it's not, what I love about it is it's not a competition. You're in there to do what you want to do. Focus your mind, you're sweating, breathing. If you ever want to go to child's pose or sit, no big deal. No one's judging you. We don't care. We're just all focused on ourselves and having that time. And then once you do sweat out that sweat, toxins, everything for the past hour, and you're like, whew, it's amazing. It's like, I don't know, it's like sex. You're like, whoa. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe we should cut that out because I don't know how kid-friendly this was supposed to be. So maybe it's like, it's like eating a piece of cake. It's like people that love cake.
You are one of the best promoters that I've seen. Hands down.
Thank you.
You know, I see how you promote on your Instagram, things of that nature. Talk about the importance of self-marketing and branding yourself.
Yes. Amber Nova is a brand that I created. This is my character as a person, my identity in and outside the ring. It's a brand, and I invested in myself. People are not going to invest in you unless you invest in yourself. It's all about what you put in, you get out. You know, people say that, but they don't really understand it unless they see it for themselves. And I feel like with today's generation, you're just handed things, you know. It's different, I guess, than when my parents grew up and they had to really work for everything. And that's why my dad's like, oh, you want to drive a cool muscle car? Well, you have to change the oil yourself. I'm like, all right, I can do it. And so promoting's a huge thing. When I started wrestling, I didn't have an Instagram or a Twitter, barely used Facebook. People didn't think I was real. I was an EMT. I was small town island life. I hit the paddleboard at the beach. I was an EMT. You know, like I just did my own thing. I didn't care about social media. I didn't feel the need to have it for what I used to do for a living, helping people. And I learned the hard way of just on my own branding, and promoting is a huge thing. You have to market yourself, and you have to invest in yourself. Like I said, you have to go out there on your own dime, on your own time, and just put in that work. A lot of the modeling gigs, like Wild Bangarang, Chalkline Official just sent me some sponsored stuff. They're licensed with WWE. They make all official things. They make, you name it, they make the coolest things, like the World of Warcraft leggings. I used to play, I was a gamer. A few things, and I went out there, they sponsored me some leggings. I went out there, did the modeling work, and then I got more brand ambassador stuff, like, hey, this girl goes out there, she does it on her own, and yeah, you gotta be creative. And like I said, you have to put that time in, and then eventually you'll get paid to do things. People will want you on their team, and to be a part of to be an asset for their company or their team. But yeah, it's all about investing in yourself and promoting.
That's what's up. That's a great mentality too. So I need your secret on how to build my Instagram more. So you have like 40,000 plus followers on Instagram. Can I have some of your followers?
I'm going to help you get some.
I'm
I
trying
hope my followers become your followers after this interview.
Hey, hopefully that'll be great. But yeah, I see you doing the modeling thing, and then you do like stuff for the fans, merchandising, things like that, and then promo events. So I see you're doing your thing, man. I respect the hustle.
Thank you. I do. One of the things people are like, wow, you really hustle, is my own signature grease rags. Not many people might work on their cars, but it's cool to have in your car if you ever need to wipe some grease down, or you need to wipe your hands on anything. It's a grease rag. And I made all my own grease rags. I got a signature orange. Normally a grease rag is red, but you can get them in any color, blue, whatever. So I got an orange for, obviously, my Chevy Nova orange. And I hand custom made them, Amber Nova, tire marks, wrenches, and it's like a way I can connect with my fans. I want them to really like get more into who I am.
Gotcha.
So it's like a thing.
Gotcha.
Hustle.
You gotta hustle, man. Respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Hey, well, last question. You know, we're here to the end now, but when Amber Nova retires from the sport of wrestling, you know, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want the fans to remember you?
How do I want Amber Nova to be remembered by the fans? My pro wrestling career. That is such a personal question. Out of every podcast, wrestling podcast, interview I've done, no one's ever asked me that. That's personal. Man, so at the end of the day, when, I don't know, it's all said and done, maybe I crossed that finish line and made it. Yeah, I want people to remember me, Amber Nova, as who I was before wrestling, when I was an EMT, taking care of people, caring for people, always that same person. But the fact that I had a story to tell, I wanted to inspire people. I've seen death. I wanted to see more life. I wanted to see the world. You know, I wanted adventure. I dreamed of things that I thought I could never have. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not daydreaming no more. I'm going to go after it. So I just want to inspire people. I want to inspire young women and men that they can do whatever they want. Little girls out there, you can drive a badass car, girl. You can change the oil. You can wrestle. You can sling drinks. You can be an EMT. You can do all the things I've done. You can travel the world. You just have to invest in yourself and believe. Believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, other people will too. It'll just, I don't know, the presence will just come off you like a light. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I would want Amber Nova to be remembered as that badass American muscle driving mechanic, pro wrestler that just wanted to make her dad proud. You know, daughter of a mechanic, I want to make my dad proud. And I wanted to show my sisters that I've always been more, I think, introvert. I've always been very extrovert. Is that correct? I said that right?
Yeah.
That they can do whatever they want. They've always said that about me. You're always been a go-getter. You said you're going to do this, and you did it. Always. And I want them to do the same, so they're way more talented than me. They're artists. They make the most amazing things. It's crazy. But yeah, I just want to inspire people. And I had a story to tell, and I wanted to make my dad as a mechanic proud. And I wanted to get in the ring and kick ass since I was a kid watching WWE, and that's my story to tell.
That's awesome. And is Dad proud?
Dad is very proud. Yes, he is. And his friends, and yeah, everyone's proud.
Does he ever get to come to any of your matches?
He has. He's seen me wrestle a few times. He loves it. I've even done the grease rag, thrown it at him, did the tune-up. Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
He's like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Amber, it's been a pleasure having you here at Limelight Conversations. Thank you for coming out here and doing the interview. You're going to reach a lot of people with this, and we appreciate you. And I'm wishing you the best of luck in your career. I will continue to follow your career and help you promote your career as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Limelight Conversations. Tune in next time as we bring another special guest.